Triple H just made heartbreaking announcement. Stephanie Vaquer survives terrifying plane emergency. Hold on to your seats because what I'm about to tell you will absolutely blow your mind, and it has nothing to do with finishers, title reigns, or backstage politics. Before we get into this absolute roller coaster of a story, hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell because WWE Extreme is about to give you the details that have the entire wrestling world holding its breath. So Triple H just stepped up to address something that nobody saw coming. And trust me, this isn't your typical WWE drama. We're talking about Stephanie Vaquer, one of the most electrifying talents to recently join the WWE roster, facing a nightmare scenario that would make even The Undertaker break character. This woman survived a legitimate plane emergency that had passengers saying their final prayers, and the details are absolutely chilling. Now for those living under a rock, Stephanie Vaquer is not just another name on the roster. This Chilean sensation has been tearing it up in the ring with a style that blends technical mastery with high-flying innovation that makes your jaw drop every single time. She came into WWE with massive expectations after dominating the independent scene and making waves in promotions across the globe. But all of that suddenly meant nothing when she found herself 30,000 feet in the air on a flight that was rapidly turning into every traveler's worst nightmare. Here's where things get absolutely insane. The plane Vaquer was traveling on experienced severe mechanical failures that sent the aircraft into an emergency situation so serious that the pilots had to prepare everyone for a potential crash landing. We're not talking about some minor turbulence that makes your stomach flip. We're talking full-blown oxygen mask dropping, emergency protocols being activated, and flight attendants going through procedures that nobody ever wants to actually use in real life. Imagine being in that situation knowing that your wrestling skills, your athleticism, your championship accolades mean absolutely nothing when gravity and mechanical failure are working against you. But here's what makes Stephanie Vaquer absolutely different from most people. And this is where her wrestling mentality actually kicked in during the worst possible moment. According to fellow passengers who were on that flight, while people were understandably panicking and crying and losing their minds, Vaquer remained ice cold. She helped calm down passengers around her, assisted elderly travelers with their oxygen masks, and maintained composure that honestly seems superhuman. That's the mindset of a champion right there, folks. When everything is falling apart literally and figuratively, true warriors step up and become the calm in the storm. The pilots, absolute legends in their own right, somehow managed to guide that failing aircraft down to an emergency landing that can only be described as miraculous. The impact was rough, the landing was terrifying, and several passengers sustained minor injuries from the chaos, but everybody walked away alive. Every single soul on that plane survived what could have easily become an absolute tragedy, and Stephanie Vaquer was among those survivors. When you think about how close WWE came to losing one of its rising stars before she even had the chance to truly shine on the biggest stage in wrestling, it sends shivers down your spine. Triple H's announcement came with visible emotion that you rarely see from the game. This is a man who has seen everything in wrestling, who has been through wars in the ring, who has dealt with every kind of drama imaginable, but you could tell this hit different. He spoke about how grateful WWE is that Stephanie is safe, how the company is providing her with every resource she needs to recover, and how this incident puts everything in perspective. Championships can be won again, matches can be rescheduled, but lives cannot be replaced. That sobering reality was written all over his face as he delivered the news. Now let's talk about what this means for Stephanie's career trajectory, because this isn't just about physical recovery. Aviation emergencies create psychological trauma that doesn't just disappear overnight. Many survivors develop serious anxiety about flying, and when your job requires constant travel between shows, that becomes a massive obstacle. WWE superstars essentially live on planes, bouncing from city to city, country to country, performing night after night. The thought of having to get back on an aircraft after experiencing a near-death situation in one would break most people mentally. But if Stephanie Vaquer has proven anything throughout her career, it's that she doesn't back down from challenges. This is a woman who fought her way up from the independent scene, who competed in countries where she didn't speak the language, who earned respect in a brutally competitive industry through pure talent and determination. She's faced opponents who outweighed her, opponents with more experience, opponents with bigger names, and she found ways to win. Now she faces perhaps her biggest challenge yet, conquering the fear that comes from surviving something that could have easily killed her. The wrestling community has absolutely exploded with support for Stephanie. Social media timelines filled with messages from wrestlers across every promotion, from WWE legends to independent stars, all expressing relief and sending positive energy her way. Even people who have never met her personally felt compelled to reach out, because the wrestling world is ultimately a family. And when one of your own faces something like this, petty rivalries and company loyalties disappear completely. What matters is that a talented young wrestler gets to continue living her dream and her life. What makes this situation even more intense is the timing. Stephanie had just started gaining serious momentum in WWE, connecting with audiences, showcasing her incredible in-ring abilities, and establishing herself as a future cornerstone of the women's division. She was on the trajectory that every wrestler dreams about, that upward climb toward championship opportunities and main event status. And then this happened, this completely random and terrifying event that had nothing to do with wrestling, but everything to do with the inherent risks of constant travel that nobody really thinks about until something goes catastrophically wrong. The investigation into the mechanical failures is ongoing, with aviation authorities examining every component of what went wrong. Early reports suggest potential engine issues compounded by other system failures, creating a perfect storm of problems that required expert piloting to overcome. Whatever the final determination, you can bet that airlines and WWE alike will be reviewing they. The support from WWE has been comprehensive, including access to trauma counselors and mental health professionals who specialize in aviation incidents. The company understands that physical recovery is only part of the equation, that the psychological impact of nearly dying in a plane crash requires professional intervention. This level of care reflects a more evolved understanding of athlete well-being that, thankfully, is becoming standard across professional sports and entertainment. Thank you for watching WWE Extreme. We're all just incredibly grateful that Stephanie Vaquer is safe, and we're sending all our love and support as she recovers.